All right, well, I want to be mindful of everybody's time, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome to JDUB Live. We've been doing these for almost a month now, joining you every Thursday night. Hopefully you're finding these really valuable. We're trying to hit on some different topics that students always ask us about, and we know is of interest. So tonight we're going to talk about fast careers and where you can get hired. In a lot of situations, sometimes you want to get skills that you can put to work right away. Maybe you don't want to wait a full 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, and maybe that's not of interest to you at all. We have some really top-notch programs that you can get really fast training and then get right to work. So that's what we're going to cover tonight. Before we get started, I want to do some introductions. And I'm Kristen Ritterbush. I'm the Director of Admissions at John Wood. I also have Keely. You want to introduce yourself real quick, Keely?
Hi, I'm Keely Rager, Missouri Advisor and Business Outreach at John Wood.
Awesome. And we have Todd, a current John Wood student. Say hi, Todd.
Hi. I'm a manufacturing technologies major at John Wood.
All right, so we're going to hear a little more from each of us as we go. So as I had said, just a little housekeeping items. Please mute yourself. You can ask questions in the chat. We will answer those as we go and then make sure that we get them all answered by the end of the presentation. We will record this event, and so we'll send it to you. If you're joining us on Facebook, make sure you add your email into the chat if you would like us to send you a recording or send you any follow-up materials. So technology is great when it works. So we're hoping that everything goes smoothly, but if we run into any hiccups, just bear with us and we'll get it taken care of. So it's your turn. We want to hear from you. We want to hear who you are, where you're joining us from, and maybe what career you're thinking about, what career area, or if you're undecided, that's okay. You can put that in there too. So go ahead and jump on the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on Facebook too and see if we have any comments there. All right, so Todd, while we're waiting for everybody to put their chat in there, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? You're the student, so we want to hear your story a little bit.
All right, so my name is Todd Klingel. I just finished up my first year at John Wood. I have a scholarship to the Student Life Department, and I am going to be our secretary for the SGA next year. I also work in the admissions department here at John Wood, and I am getting a manufacturing technologies degree in order to become a luthier, which is somebody who makes instruments with strings.
I think that's so fascinating. I love that is your dream. So where did that come from? Where did that interest come from?
I've played guitar since I was 16, and I started off with some really crummy instruments, and so fixing them was kind of fun for me. So fixing them led into putting some kits together, and so that made me want to build them.
Awesome.
That's cool. That's cool.
All right. Well, I don't see a whole lot in the chat, so you guys don't be shy. Jump in there. Let us know where you're coming from. Just tell us your name if that's all you want to put in there. That would be fine too. I put mine in there. Okay. All right. So fast careers and where to get hired. When we talk about fast careers, we're talking about everything on our career technical side. And so we have anything from really short-term certificates to kind of mid-length certificates to associate degrees. And then a lot of our associate degrees on the technical side, really almost all of them in some way, shape, or form transfer on and you can continue to get a bachelor's. So we are talking about those short-term certificates that build into a 2-year degree. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But I think it's really important, especially on the career and tech side, for us to note that you get the training quickly, you can get right to work. And so that's short-term benefit. But in the long run, when you decide 5 years from now, hey, I think I might want to go back to school and continue on towards my bachelor's, you can totally take these careers, transfer them. We've got articulation agreements with Western Illinois, Northwest Missouri, Northern Illinois University, and University of Northern Iowa. All of those are going to, we've got articulation agreements, so they'll take our applied associate degrees, so our career technical degrees, and you can transfer those to continue on and get your bachelor's. So short-term benefit, long-term opportunity, okay? And so Keely's going to walk us through some of our highlighted programs that you can get in a short period of time. And so we'll kind of dig into those.
So tonight there's actually 3 areas we're going to kind of highlight: the healthcare, the manufacturing, logistics, and truck driving. Now it sounds like 4, but we lumped in logistics and truck driving. So they're going to be all in one little section there. But for healthcare, there's a lot of different options that we can offer, and we're going to give you a sample tonight. So certified nursing. So if you wanted to go in and get a certificate and be able to get right into work, working directly with the patients, you could get your CNA certificate in 8 weeks, which that is fast. So you could actually, I think we have this summer, starts in June. You could register now, get started, and be working within the next couple months within an industry that you love. So if you're passionate and like the medical field, you can start in that. There's other fields that you can go into, the medical assistant, if you want a little bit more, where you can take sutures out and do dressings and take vitals and that sort of thing. Gives you a little bit more of the hands-on. If you like the medical field and maybe don't want so much hands-on, then you can go into the medical office technology. There's a certificate, and you can also go on and get a degree in associated sciences. And then of course there's always nursing. So while these don't build on each other, they do give you options to go in, start where you want to start, and go down that career path, because you might get into it and say, you know what, I am going to go back. And the cool thing we're going to show you later is that maybe you start as a medical assistant, but you think, oh, I really want to get my nursing degree. We have the opportunity to offer you that with great schedules, opportunity for affordability, and Kristen's going to tell you about that later, how we can make this all possible. So the WDC is the Workforce Development Center, and I've always said that this is one of the best kept secrets. When I started at John Wood, I had no idea this existed. And so I work in the business and industry department as well, besides admissions, and I go in and I meet with a lot of different corporations and companies and talk to them about customized training, but also our programs that we have there. So when I went into this, I was like, wow, this is right in my backyard, and I didn't know about it. So I think it's really cool to be able to offer this as an option for people to see. Is the video going to play, Kristen? Did we enable that? I was hoping.
Maybe.
I think we should have went in, but that's okay. We're going to go on. We'll come back. Okay, no worries, no worries. We're live, this happens. But this gives you a good shot and overview of what our facility looks like. So when you walk into the back of our facility, the front has some classrooms. We've got computer labs. We've got state-of-the-art rooms where we can hold training with Zoom meetings and have corporations come in. But our students also use those same rooms, so they have access to all of this high advanced technology. And in the back, this is what you'll see. We have space that we are quickly outgrowing, I do believe, because we are adding programs, but that's a good problem to have. So we are going to highlight some of the manufacturing programs tonight. One of the biggest programs that we see a need for in the business and industry world is welding. When I walk into some of the companies within our tri-state area, the first thing they say is, do you have any welders available? So this is one of those fields where you can get in and get out very quickly. Certificates, I believe 8 weeks, and you can build on that. You can get basic welding, you can get industrial welding, and welding is a skill that you can take to just about any company. And you can advance that as far as you want to go with it. And it doesn't just mean that you have to work in manufacturing. You can also do a lot of different things within the manufacturing world, whether it be on cars, whether it be on anything that you can weld. You can dream it, just like Todd was talking about. He dreamed of making instruments, and now he's going to do that. So the other The other program that we're going to highlight is robotics. It's coming up this fall, automation and robotics technician. That's going to be a new program, and it will be offered this fall. And we're really excited about that because a lot of the companies are going to automation and robotics, and people are going to need those skills. And if you want those in-demand jobs, you're going to want to come check out that program. This past fall, we actually opened up HVAC. So heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration. This has been a highly popular in-demand program, and this is one of those that you can get in under a year. Go out, you can work independently, you can work at other companies. You can, I know Blessing Health Systems, we have interns that are interning there, and they're looking to possibly take on a full-time job. So there's a lot of different options with that as well. Machining, electrical's another one that's a big one, and you can get some high dollar salaries coming down, head of household salaries. CAD and SolidWorks, and then also industrial maintenance. When people think of industrial maintenance, a lot of times they're not thinking about it the way that it is. This is one where it's a jack of all trades. This is something where you get to go in and be a problem solver, a troubleshooter, learn to fix things and keep production rolling, because if production doesn't keep going, the company shuts down and it loses money. So you're the man if you can come in and fix all of those machines. Todd, what would you say is one of the things that you would want to highlight on some of these slides?
So under a manufacturing technology degree, my two main focuses are machining and CAD and the SolidWorks section on this here. So I'll talk mostly about CAD because that's where I focused my first year. Anything that you've probably seen come out of a machine shop in the last 20 years started on a CAD program. That's a 3D model that it's on a computer. You'll have an engineer draw it up, and it can have moving parts, and a lot of thought goes into it, and math and things like that. So if you're really into design and have a level head for things like that, that's a great program to start with.
And what's your schedule look like? Like what's your class schedule, and kind of what's a typical day for you? What's that look like for you?
So most of my classes are scheduled 5 to 9. Most of the professors don't want to stay that late, so they give you like an hour lecture, your homework, and tell you that you're free to leave as soon as you want. So most of the time I'm there from 5 to 7, and then I leave.
But it gives you ample time if you wanted to stay and work on some of your schoolwork, you could.
Yes.
So you have access to the lab, you have access to the computers?
Yes.
Perfect.
They have 2 computer labs in the WDC. My understanding is they're unlocked most of the day.
And that's another thing I will say is during the week when you're not in class, we do have the computer labs that are available for students to come in and utilize. So if they wanted to get on, we have a lot of CAD students that'll come in and work on some of the things they're working on within their coursework. So a lot of opportunity, a lot of support. And I think that's the cool thing is the smaller class sizes, the hands-on, and the instructors really do want you to be successful. And our instructors still work within the industry. That's why a lot of times we'll have classes at night because they are still working within the industry, so they know exactly what to tell you to expect. And you get that firsthand knowledge, that tribal knowledge you hear about, and they make sure to get you prepared for what you're going to see when you enter the workforce.
Absolutely.
You want to go to the next slide, Kristen?
Got it.
All right, logistics and truck driver training. So logistics, this is a certificate that you can get and fairly quickly, but then you can come back and get your logistics and operation management. You can build on this, and everything can It's a little bit different here because then you can go right in and those courses can take you into supply chain management, which is a 4-year bachelor degree. And you would have to transfer, but these are things that you can start one place, you love it, you build on it, you keep going, and before you know it, you are managing the whole place. You never know. But if you want to be a truck driver, this is something too where you can come in, and we have an 8-week program, we have a 16-week program, opportunities for scholarships, opportunities to get out on the road, see the country. A lot of people, we actually have husband and wife sometimes come in, but we have the younger kids come in as well. This is one where you have to be 21. Sometimes you can get override and be 18, but to drive outside of the state, you have to be over the age of 21. So that's where that age guideline comes in. Diesel technology is another top-notch program that we have within John Wood. It's something that if you like to be around the trucks, but you don't want to drive the trucks, you can take care of the trucks. So there's a lot of different options here, and we're going to show you in just a little bit how with all of these in-demand programs, you can come in, get a certificate, get out into the workforce, and start earning some really good money, and be doing what you love, but making good money doing it, and doing it quickly. So if this is something where you're a hands-on person, you don't want to sit behind a desk for a long time, or you want to be out there working quickly, these are the programs you want to come in and talk to us about, because we'll help you get into them, get you started, and get you out in the workforce quickly.
And Keely, I'll jump in a little bit on logistics. So I think that's one of those things that is kind of a keyword, but a lot of times people are not necessarily sure what we say logistics. So logistics can cover really anything from the business side of ordering, purchasing, inventory, lean processes. It could be scheduling trucks. It could be scheduling orders. And whenever we're presenting, especially to high school students, and I think it applies here, I always say, whenever you order something on Amazon, and from the time you click buy until it shows up on your door 2 days later, everything, every process, every touch point from the point A to point B is logistics. Same with all the grocery pickup that we're doing right now. You place your order, you pick your time slot. There's processing that goes into that. People have developed those systems and those processes. That's logistics. So there's really a ton of opportunity locally with our, with the river, with train, with trucking, we've got Kohl's and Dot, really large warehousing opportunities locally, as well as our manufacturers that ship things all over the world. But even into just the way things are going with online ordering and all of the processing that goes into that, there's just a lot of opportunity, and it's one of those unique ones that I don't know, I think is just really unique and a lot of opportunities.
So additional programs. Sorry, I missed my cue there. We have a lot of other options for programs. We just wanted to highlight a few, but we do have ag and accounting and business management, early childhood education, emergency response programs, and much, much more. You can go on to John Wood's website and check out our extensive list of programs. If you find something that you're interested in, we also have the Career Cruiser where you can go in and see what you might plug in what you're interested in, and then it spits out what you might be good at. It's kind of cool. So that's always something to try. But there are a lot of options at John Wood. There really is something for everyone. And when we say that, we really mean it, because there's just a lot of opportunity, and the scheduling, the affordability makes it possible for any age, any person, any interest to find something and go after it and get out into the workforce and be successful.
Agreed. And just to follow up with what Keely was saying, that these programs, especially our career and technical programs, are designed for people that are working and going to school. That is the norm. And so We have online opportunities. We have evening classes. We have day classes. There's hybrid classes. We have sometimes people go part-time and ease their way into it. We have students that are in school full-time and work full-time, and that's a lot, but it's doable. We do have small class sizes, 14-1. Todd, how big would you say your classes have been?
My smallest class was 2 people, me included, and my largest class was 15 people,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
that was
so
really big. So it's
okay.
very small.
So small class sizes, and that gives you the opportunity to get the one-on-one really help that you need. If you are struggling, the instructors are right there to help you. And that's if you're in classroom or if you're online. The instructors are still there to support you every step of the way. And I've had student after student talk about how just wonderful and supportive our instructors are, and how they are just there. Their purpose is to help you succeed. And that they do everything they can to make that happen. So also with these programs, especially, you get hands-on experience. This is not just a bunch of general education classes that are stacking to get you to a bachelor's. We do have general education classes, but all of these classes are directly related to the major that you are in, and that you're going to learn things that you are going to be able to put into action right away. We have internships at local businesses, and we have no classes on Fridays. So if you needed any more of a sales pitch, there's no classes on Fridays. But all in all, there is an infinite number of possibilities when it comes to what your schedule looks like. We have, like I said, you can go fully online. You can do online and some evening. Some of that is dictated by the program that you go into, but for the most part, we can be very flexible and accessible for many, many scenarios. And so the second part of this is where to get hired. I mean, most people are not going to school just to go to school, right? You're going to school and getting an education for that end goal. Starting with the end in mind. That's a Stephen Covey, one of the 7 habits, right? Begin with the end in mind. So what is your goal? Where do you want to be? What does this look like? And pick smart. All of the programs that we've covered are in demand, okay? If you're unsure, go look at wigjobs.com or go look at Indeed for our local area. Look at who's hiring and look at what types of positions they're hiring for. I guarantee you will find welders, truck drivers. There's a lot of industrial maintenance type positions. There's accountants, anything in healthcare. So go out there and look. Let that be your guide. Granted, you are trying to look a couple years in the future, but a lot of these have been pretty tried and true in-demand careers for an extended period of time. And right now, in this crazy situation that none of us could have predicted, truck drivers are one of the most essential positions that there is right now. They're keeping things moving along with our healthcare workers. I mean, it doesn't get much more essential than that. So, we partner with all of these organizations on the screen. We have advisory councils with our local employers. They help us build programs. So they're helping us design the curriculum that we're teaching. A lot of our instructors actually work at these companies, and then they teach for us on the side. So they're active in the industry. That helps you make connections. I can't tell you how many students have made job connections just by their instructors. But it also tells you that those employers know they're getting a quality candidate when they go through a John Wood program because they were a part of building those programs. So it's really a win-win-win. We are helping people like you find the career that's right for them. We help you get the education that's going to set you up for success. And we're helping build a workforce in our community and helping to build our economy. So it really is a win-win.
And Kristen, I want to kind of add to that, that we actually have employers that come in and speak to our classes as well. So when they have different opportunities at their businesses, they will come in, speak to our different classes, whether it be welding, whether it be manufacturing, whether it be machining, whatever the course may be, and explain what they do, what they have as an opportunity. And I've actually seen a general manager of a company happened to go by and talk to a CAD student. They had a great conversation. He left, he turned to me and my coworker and said, I would hire him now. Well, he ended up hiring that guy because they had such a great conversation. He's like, he's got it going on, he's almost done. And he had a job waiting for him when his semester was over. So that's how that works. So there's a lot of different opportunities that you may not get at other places. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Absolutely.
I would also like to add that I've received 3 job offers through our career department at John Wood, and I'm only through my first year at John Wood. So you will get offers before you're even done at John Wood.
That's cool.
We love to hear that, Todd. Good. Good. All right. So we've covered, we've got short-term training programs. They are in demand. Employers locally are looking for those types of skills. So how long does it take? So a lot of the certificates that we talked about, our shortest certificate is 8 weeks. A lot of them are a semester, up to a year. Those certificates build. So let's say you do a semester certificate, then you do another semester certificate. So all along the way, you're building credentials, and then you're working towards that degree. That takes about 2 years going full time. And then again, keep in mind, you've got that long-term opportunity where, say you decide you want that, hey, I can handle this in school and I'm actually really enjoying it. You finish up at John Wood, we can transfer those classes to one of those 4 schools with that articulation agreement on the career and technical side, and you can get a bachelor's of general studies. So that's kind of the time frame that we're talking, but we really wanted to focus on what you could get done in a really short amount of time and kind of get that first certificate or that first step, and then build on that. So how much does it cost? We're always, that's always kind of, when we talk to students, it's always, do I have the time? How much is it going to cost? Can I actually do this? Am I going to be successful? And what are the results that I'm going to get? So those are kind of the big questions that we're trying to cover for you. So on average, a full-time year at John Wood is around $5,000. Now that may sound like a lot, but compared to other schools, we're anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 to $50,000 cheaper than some other schools when you get on the private side. But we're at least $10,000 less expensive than area 4-year schools, public schools. So starting out, reasonable tuition. As a community college, that is our main purpose, is to make education accessible. So we do our very, very best to keep that tuition low. So how can you kind of cover that? So there's a couple of different ways. One, the FAFSA. So that is an online form that you fill out for federal and state financial aid. It's income-based, but there's lots of different variations. It depends on, how many kids you have, how many people in your household are also going to school. There's just lots of different scenarios. So I would encourage you to fill that out, even if you think you might not qualify. Fill it out and just see where you land. You can also potentially qualify for some federal loans that are deferred, so you don't start paying on them until after you're done with school, and they're usually pretty reasonable interest rates. So FAFSA is one way. Scholarships. So we have scholarships. There are some companies that will specifically give you scholarships for their programs. So Sharkey is one. That's why that logo is on there. So we have some company-specific scholarships depending on the program that you're studying. There are program-specific scholarships at John Wood. So through our foundation, we may be looking for engineers or somebody that's doing some of these career and technical programs. So there are scholarships available. We also have a general adult scholarship, and then we've got a lot of scholarships for students coming right out of high school. So lots of scholarship opportunities. Another piece of the puzzle that is really beneficial for students is workforce investment grants. Workforce Investment Opportunity Act, WIOA is what we call it. There are opportunities, if anybody is finding themselves unemployed or furloughed right now, we can connect you with resources that will help you go back to school. They will pay for you to go back to school. So that is a wonderful opportunity if you find yourself in that situation right now. Also, for youth that are between the ages of 17 and 24, there's a lot of funding opportunities for students going into this program, and there's a number of different ways that you can qualify. It's not all income-based. So if you're in that age bracket and you're considering this, let us know and we'll help connect you to those resources. And if you qualify, they'll pay for your tuition, your books, supplies, they'll cover it, okay? So really, really wonderful opportunities. So once we go through all of these scenarios, whatever is left, if it's a reasonable amount, we have payment plans, or you can look at loans. We always cover loans last. We don't want anybody to go into debt if you don't have to. If we can help you figure out a way to do it without doing that, that's priority one. But it is an investment, and it's an investment in your future. So if we've covered all of those other opportunities and there's still a balance and that makes sense for you to do a loan, by all means do it. Even doing 2 years on wood, the maximum that you would have is $10,000. And we're going to talk about the return on investment that we're going to see with these programs. So if you have any questions about this, this is where it can get really confusing. Give us a call. You can contact Keely, myself. We sit down with students and work through this all the time. So this is part of what we're there to help you with. It's not just doing your application and helping with that, but we're here to help you actually figure out how to make this work. So going on and looking at the return on investment, basically we go out and look at average salaries for our area with these types of programs. So we went back to the original list that Keely shared, and so this is showing average salary. So keep in mind some of these. So CNA, that is an 8-week program, high demand, and that is the salary. Now that's probably close to a starting salary for a CNA. Also medical assistant, that's a 1-year program. So you can see as the training and length of time goes up, the salary also goes up. So it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of up to you to depend on how long the training is and the potential salary on the back end. Kind of goes into that investment, right? Medical office technology, this is a program that is completely online. And this is going to be all of that back-end support. So we have a lot of people that work at like Blue Cross Blue Shield, even processing for the hospital and things like that. A lot of opportunity locally. Nursing, we all know that that is a wonderful opportunity. It's a 3-year program to get to the RN, but wonderful, wonderful opportunity for that. And then surgical technology, again, in the 40 to 50 range, it's a 3-year program. And a really interesting perspective on the healthcare and surgical process. So all things to consider. So manufacturing, let's look at that return on investment. I'm not gonna go through and read off all of these, but keep in mind that some of them are a shorter term. So welding is a year for a semester for basic and a year for industrial. That's getting into the specialized MIG, TIG, SIG welding, all of those. And robotics, that is that new program that Keely talked about. That is really where the future of manufacturing and processing is going. So I think that's going to be a really popular program. HVAC is a new program that started last year. Wonderful opportunity. Every business and every house in the area has a heater and an air conditioner. So if you think about just installation and maintenance, I mean, there's a lot of longevity and sustainability there. And then with the machine electrical, so you can see, so like I said, worst case scenario, no help with funding, no grants, no scholarships, nothing. A 2-year associate applied science degree is at max going to cost you a little over $10,000. So if you get that and you get these high demand skills, in-demand skills, employers are ready to hire you, you're going to be able to pay that investment back and see a really serious return on your investment. So that's what we're getting at is, you know, and that's worst case scenario. On average, we pull our students as a whole. On average, our students pay $500 out of pocket per year. Now, some pay more, some pay less, but that just gives you a gauge. So when we talk about a payment plan, literally for most of our students, we're able to get that into a manageable amount that they can pay a five times a monthly payment for 5 months throughout the semester and be able to afford that. So just keep that in mind. Logistics and truck driver training. Again, these first three, this is a good way to show you. So this first one is a certificate. So that's really short term. So that would be one of those first steps that you get. But within a semester, you're going to have a certificate and be able to get your foot in the door. The second one, logistics and operations management, this is an applied associate degree. So that's a 2-year degree. So you can see the extra school, the extra skills is going to up your pay. The supply chain management is moving on and completing a bachelor's degree, and you can see the jump there. So it's a higher investment, a longer term investment. It's going to cost a little bit more, but you're going to have a higher return. So that's just something to keep in mind. But there's nothing to say that you couldn't start here, bump to the associate, and then continue on to the bachelor's and continue to invest in yourself and invest in your future as you go. Truck driver training, this is probably starting salary. This is not necessarily average. This is starting salary, and that's the program. So 8 weeks, finish, you can get hired immediately. And like Keely said, as much as you're willing to drive, that's what you'll get paid. And if you're willing to be on the road and get those miles, you can really make a lot of money being a truck driver. So I know that's kind of a lot, kind of piecing together the full return on investment, but that's kind of what we want you to think about it. It is an investment. It's an investment in your time. It's an investment for you and your family. It's an investment in your future. And so just keep that in mind. John Wood is your community college. We're here to help you through kind of navigating this, figuring out what's the best option for you, and you know, helping you all along the way, start to finish. And we just added, we've got some awards that we've gotten that we're really proud of. It's one thing for us to sit here and tell you how great we are, and we all love John Wood. We're a little biased. It's great that we have students actually living it, telling you their perspective, and I think they love it, hopefully. But we have received from CNN Money top 10% in the nation for student success. That's based off of a number of factors, but our students are successful, especially compared to other community colleges. Our retention and graduation rates are really good compared to other community colleges. So we really focus on our students and helping them get to the finish line. We were acknowledged as one of the safest colleges in America, and one of the, I want to say second safest in the state of Illinois and 5th safest in the nation. So that was a really wonderful award also. And we also got the #1 online community college in Illinois. So we talked about some of those classes being online. We have a wonderful online platform, great resources, instructors that are top-notch. And like I said, we'll help you get there. All you have to do is say, I'm ready to give this a go, and we'll help you with the rest, okay? So with that, if this is something that is of interest to you, one, you can just talk to us, reach out to Keely or myself. We'll have our contact information down here below. We can talk through it before you do anything else. If you are interested, this is kind of the process. The admissions process is very easy. We're an open enrollment institution, so we have you apply. We ask for your high school transcript, and that's essentially it. Or if you've had any college classes, we want a transcript for that too. That's essentially the admissions process. At that point, you're ready to talk to an advisor. map out your plan and get started in classes. We have classes that start this summer, June 8th. And believe it or not, there's still time. If you wanted to start June 8th, we could get you in and ready to go for June 8th. If you want to just get started with one class and give it a try and see how it goes, we can totally do that. Fall classes also start August 17th. Again, if you find yourself in a situation where you're unemployed, you're furloughed, connect with that workforce investment agency. We are also going to have, oh, hang on, I want to go here. We have some other webinars coming up, but I wanted to point out this one, June 2nd. This is digging into really short-term career opportunities. We're actually going to have representatives from Two Rivers on the Illinois side and on the Missouri side as far as funding opportunities for workforce investment. And we actually have a couple employers joining us. So a representative from Doyle and someone from DOT are going to be joining us. So we're kind of bringing all the pieces together. So I would really encourage you to register for that. I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to do that. So I'll go back up. Do you guys have any questions? I know we kind of go through this information so fast. So let us know if you have any questions and we'll cover that here before we go.
Todd, did we miss anything tonight?
I don't think so.
Would you recommend John Wood to people listening?
Most definitely. I didn't think I was going to enjoy John Wood. I really wanted to go far away, but it's been a second home. I really enjoy John Wood.
Do you live in Quincy or?
I live out past Siloam Springs. I went to high school in Liberty.
Okay. Okay. So you commute every day?
Yes. About
Gotcha.
45 minutes.
Okay.
40, somewhere in there.
It's not too bad.
Okay, I put the link for that webinar in the chat. So if you guys are interested, it's jwcc.edu/change. So if this kind of piques your interest, that webinar is going to really dig in. And the fact that we have people coming from those funding agencies and employers so they can speak on their own behalf, and we'll just kind of bring all these pieces together and make it really, really accessible for you. You know, I love what I do. I love working at John Wood. And I think one of the things that we get so passionate about is that we know that education literally changes people's lives. And so especially these programs where you can get fast training, get into these high in-demand careers, it can literally change the trajectory of your life. And that sounds really cheesy, but it's the truth. Education is really the key to changing things for you, changing things for your family, and setting you up for your future. And so that's why we do things like this to get the word out. We want as many people as possible to take advantage of those opportunities, and we want to try to help make that happen for you. So I don't see any questions. You guys have been super quiet tonight. So we want to be mindful of your time. We don't want to take any more than we need. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Keely. Thank you, Todd. Thank you guys that took time out of your evening to hang out with us for a minute. I hope this connected with you. If you have any questions, let me see, I think we had our contact information. There we go. There is our contact information for Keely and myself. You can always find out how to reach us on the John Wood website as well. So we are here to help you. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening, and hopefully we'll see you at a future webinar. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.